another video with your girl Shlinda1. Okay guys, so today's video is all about porosity and learning what that is, identifying some ways so you can figure out what's the porosity level of your hair and how to utilize it to your benefit. So let's go back to the very beginning. What the hell is porosity and what that got to do with me and why is it relevant to me? What does that mean? Porosity level is basically all about your hair's ability to absorb and keep moisture. It's that simple. Your hair's ability to absorb moisture and to keep it, and how long it keeps it. That is what porosity level is. Now, porosity has been broken up into 3 categories for all of us to kind of gauge where our hair is. There's low porosity, there's medium porosity, and then there's high porosity. Today we're pretty much going to talk about low porosity. It kind of just resurfaced itself, but porosity has always been around and has really always been the most important step in a natural hair journey, even though a lot of us don't know about it. As soon as you think about natural hair, you think about the big chop and shea butter and all this different stuff. But the truth is, there's an underlying definitive start button, and it really does start with porosity. How does my hair absorb moisture and how does it keep it? How long does it keep it? Knowing those things really help you, it really helps you decide what hair products would be most beneficial for your hair. Okay, so there's a few ways that will help you identify kind of what your level is. But before I get into that, I want you guys to know this. 9 times out of 10, your entire head of hair will teeter between all 3 levels. You may have the perimeter of your hair may be low porosity. The top middle may be high porosity. The hair in the middle may be medium porosity. The reason why you kind of need to know this is because when you apply your products, you may have to do them in very different ways. Okay, so here's some tests. And the very first simple one, we've all heard about the strand. And you take the strand, you put it in the water, and you put it at the top of the water and you just leave it for about 10 minutes and see what happens. If it stays at the top of the water, then 9 times out of 10 you are low porosity. And what does that mean? That means your hair strands are so closed that no moisture can get in. And your strand, your cuticle on your strand is just like, you ain't getting up in here. You ain't getting in here. That's low porosity. Then you might have, if the hair strand then soaks down to the middle and floats down to the middle, that's when you're pretty much medium porosity. You can come in, but you gotta come in real slow. Slow. Okay. A little slower. Okay. Come on in. And then you have high porosity, and that's when your hair strand pretty much floats to the very bottom. Come on, baby. Come on. Give it all to me. Give it in. Give it in. Your high porosity. Okay, so you have to be really careful with that test. That is not the most accurate way, but it is a good way to kind of give you an idea of where your hair may be. The reason why that's not the most accurate test is because you have to use that hair. You have to use that test on 100% clean, clarified hair. I mean, no hair product at all, because we all know the moment that you put, depending on the hair product, if it seals up that cuticle, that is just the opposite of what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to see what our cuticle does on its own, not helped or hindered by a hair product. So keep that in mind. There are some ways to help you care for low porosity hair. Knowing that really helps you with the products that you use. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is low porosity hair is known to gather large amounts of product buildup. You want to know why? It's because at the time we did not know why our hair was not getting moisturized. So we just pile all these products on our hair just to get our hair moisturize because we couldn't understand why our hair is still so dry. Well, the reason why is because your cuticle layer is so close that the products are just building up on each other, child. They just having a little party on your hair strands and ain't nothing in there. They just outside the club. They can't get in the club. They just sitting on top of the club, sitting outside the club. So know that. So what does that mean? You need to make sure that your hair strand stays as clean as possible. What does that mean? Clarifying shampoos. And I know a lot of us naturals like, don't be clarifying our hair on a regular basis. It's too stripping. That's not what we want to do. That's exactly what you want to do if you have low porosity hair. The reason why is because we want to make sure that when we go to put moisture into our hair, it's on clean hair. We have gotten rid of all the old baggage. We want to and use a clarifying shampoo once a week. I would not recommend doing it any more than that, and the reason why is because we are going to make sure going forward that we use as little product as possible to avoid as much product buildup as possible. Okay, so now let's move on to deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is so important. The reason why it's more important for us is because our cuticle is closed. So we need moisture to penetrate our strands. The only thing that's going to get our gates to open is heat. So it is imperative for us to use heat. Heat opens the strands. Same thing when you shampoo your hair. First thing you want to do is after you get in the shower is rinse your hair with warm to lukewarm, not hot, because I don't want you to burn yourself, but I want you to get your hair as close to hottish as possible without it being too hot for your hair. It's very important because you really want to open up that strand. It's like opening up the gates. The hot water is opening up the gates, the cuticle layer of your hair, so that you can really make sure that all the dirt is coming off the top of your hair and anything that's inside that's dirty can get out too. Now, one thing really quick I want to say, warm water, guys, for us is imperative. It changes everything. Warm water is our best friend. Why? Because, you know, we ain't giving it up. Our hair's not giving, it's not giving up the goods. So we need to loosen it up. It sounds so bad. And the best way to loosen us up is with hot water. Or warm water rather. So deep condition with heat. That means what I would recommend is when after you shampoo, do not cold rinse your hair, because cold water is going to close them back up and you want the deep condition to penetrate. So make sure that your hair stays rinsed with warm water. If at all possible, try your best to deep condition on not necessarily soaking wet hair. So between the time, because remember, your cuticles are open now, so between the time of getting out the shower and applying your deep conditioner, maybe anywhere between a minute, 2 minutes, that's a decent enough time while your cuticles are open. Some of that water is going to start to evaporate. You want to deep condition your hair on semi-damp hair, not wet hair, because your hair strand is full of water. We want the deep conditioner to penetrate your strands. We don't want it full of water. So you really want to give it about a good few minutes to kind of have some of that water evaporate, so then when you go to apply your deep conditioner with your heat, it really penetrates that strand. I mean, it really gets the moisture in there. Now, after a good 10 to 30 minutes, I personally don't recommend anything less than 30 minutes. That's my personal opinion. Your hair is your hair. You do what you got to do. Try different ways. But I would, you know, a lot of the products say 10 to 15. I automatically say 30. Can't go wrong, especially for us who have low porosity hair. Okay, so now that we're about to go rinse that out, we're going to rinse that out with what? You got it. Warm water, not cold water. Reason why? Because the next step to make sure that you are filling in that strand. So now we got deep conditioner in. We're gonna get in the shower, however you do it, rinse your hair of the deep conditioner with warm water. Go right in with your deep conditioner, because your conditioner is more formulated to kind of be on the outer layer of your hair. Deep conditioner is going deep down. The outer layer of your hair is what conditioner is meant for. So you want to make sure that as much of your hair is kind of being coated on the inner layer, not necessarily the outer layer, but the inner layer of your strand. So you still want your hair kind of open. So now you're going to go in, warm water, rinse that out, add your conditioner, leave it on for about 3 minutes, rinse that out with what? Warm water. And I know you're like, what the hell are you talking about? Now it's time to lock her ass down. Not yet. And there's a reason why, is because you're going to go in with a leave-in. Your leave-in is the thing that now is going to coat your hair. It's going to really coat that bad boy inside and out. So you got like a 3-tier level. You got your deep conditioner in, then you got your conditioner. Now you want your leave-in. Your leave-in is on that last barrier, okay? So you want to make sure your strands stay open for this. You want to add your leave-in, and now you either let your hair air dry with cool, or you can cold shot your cuticle closed with your hair dryer. Not heat, cold. Because now that you have your leave-in, now you want to say, hey, ha, 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 got you. Your leave-in is like that thing that says, got you. You ain't going nowhere. Now you want to close your layer, your cuticle layer, over top your leave-in. Over top your leave-in. I hope that makes sense to you guys, because I know it's not the easiest thing, but it really will change your entire world. In the next upcoming video, I am going to review the new product line, and I'm going to walk you through everything. I did record it so you can see the results of this product line, but I wanted to more importantly kind of give you tips on how to care for low porosity hair. Remember, after you add your leave-in, you will notice, especially when you go into your styling agent, now that your cuticle is really closed, you're not just going to be able just to add a moisturizer or a styler without actually applying pressure. Because we got deep conditioner, we got leave-in in there, and especially for us with thin hair, that's a lot of product in our cuticles or in our hair strands. So when it comes to the styling stuff, you gotta really kind of like add extra force. You can't just put it on there and expect it to work, especially on low porosity hair. Have you ever put on a product and you like, it's not absorbing, it's just sitting on top? That's because we have low porosity hair. So you want to make sure that the products that you're using is products that can penetrate. So for a lot of us low porosity girls, thick shea butters or thick styling creams or butters, or those just do not work for us. Even if we use them and it comes out pretty decent, you're not getting the full benefits of the product because that product is just way too heavy for us. We're more water-based. We're more lighter. We need product that can penetrate. We don't need heavy stuff that's just going to sit on top of our hair and do what? Create product buildup. Last thing but not least, protein. Dun dun dun. Protein, protein, protein. Now a lot of times we always think about protein and moisture balance. It's really important for the bond and strand in your hair to have a little bit of both to make sure it stays strong. In most, not all, in most low porosity hair, protein is a little bit of the enemy. Yeah. Put it like this, protein usually sits on the outside of your hair, so a lot of times our hair will break off because the protein is so strong outside the strand, it'll break it off. But just know, for the most part, our hair really doesn't like protein. A lot of times that's another indication that you may be low porosity, when you sound like, I've had protein overload and my hair really doesn't like protein. And the reason why is because it just sits on the outer part of your hair, which doesn't benefit your hair. It just creates product buildup, and it's a mess. But and some of the oils that should be a part of your deep conditioner can be that protein bond for you. So we'll definitely talk about that in another video. I hope this helped. I know it was a lot, but I really think that if you start to pay attention to some of these things, you will see an immediate difference, because I have. One last tip. You know, in the middle of the week when you want to change your hairstyle or something like that, and the first thing we want to do is grab our water, which is our #1 moisturizer, to make your hair pliable. Stop. Warm that water up. Use warm water and see what happens. It has changed the game for me. I will never just spray cold water on my hair again. Not when I'm adding moisturizers and stylers or I'm trying to do something with my hair. Never again. I just won't do it. And I encourage you to try it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry this is a very long video, but I wanted to be as thorough as possible. If I've missed anything, guys, please help a sister out. Leave it below. Let's educate each other. Let's help each other. We're all on the same journey. We all want the same end result. We want healthy, natural, beautiful, luscious, sexy hair. Whether it's long, short, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all want healthy hair. So be sure to leave anything that I may have missed, whatever it is, as long as it's positive, leave it below in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I love you guys so much for watching. Remember, you are bold, you are beautiful, and most importantly, you already know you are blessed. And I will see you guys in the very next video. Mwah! Bye, guys.